Hello, everybody, and welcome to another edition of Transport Fever 2. Coming at you with another edition of our Dedication Island series. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. This series has been on a little bit of a hiatus over the last week or so, and I really do appreciate you guys coming back and tuning in once again to the series. I'm excited to be back at this series. Lots of stuff to do, lots of stuff to show you. Really excited about it. And also, for those of you who might not be aware, the reason for the hiatus was we were getting a couple of other series and a couple other things underway. We've got some Civilization 6 content continuing to go out. And of course, we started a brand new Anno 1800 series, which I am incredibly excited about. It is going to be amazing. We're going to be doing some incredible, beautiful things in that series. You do not want to miss it. Be sure to go check it out. Okay, that's it. Shameless plugging aside, other than I will say, don't forget to like this video. Thank you. So from this angle, I wanted to start here because I wanted to show you guys the sun shining off of our beautiful new freeways. I have, over the course of the last few days and then even the last couple weeks, found the time to complete our first full freeway network. And it is ready to go, and I want to show you guys some of it, and then I want to add on to it a little bit as well, and that's what we're going to do today. So I hope you're excited. As you can see it coming up here along, this is Brompton in here, and you can see it sliding nicely along Brompton, an absolutely gorgeous arc all the way above Beerland, across this bridge, sliding down past the lovely Nightmorphous city here, and then sliding down through here, coming up past Kinshotaki, just up above it, and then sliding down towards Joshland, coming across on an angle here. And you can't really see it from here, but it actually continues on and ends off in Shepland. And then on this side over here, you can see it skipping across the islands and heading down through here past where the airport will be in Dadiopolis. And then coming down here, it comes across there, and it slides down through here and finishes off in Doshopia. So I wanted to show you quickly how we ended up doing the entrances and exits. And it took a while to kind of figure out exactly how I wanted to do it, because it's hard to find a way to seamlessly kind of end a freeway. And so what we ended up doing is I created some one-way roads, which I kind of already wanted to do in this town anyway. So we've got a one-way road coming up here, and then it actually swoops in and turns into the highway. And then we have another one-way road going this way down through here. And what happens is the road, you can see it actually diverts and comes up onto here and comes up onto the hill and then slides off the hill. And you can actually turn right off there and go down that, like basically turn into this section here, which of course becomes, there's a 4-lane road you can access there, or just continue straight through on the one way. And the same kind of thing there across that 4-lane road like that. Or the other option is, of course, you would just slide down through here and you turn into basically an intersection of two 4-way roads, 4-lane roads. 4-way roads, that would be confusing. 2 4-lane roads, so you can basically decide where you want to go. So if you are coming into town, you can decide if you want to go to the industrial area down in here, and then potentially into the commercial area or something down there. Or if you want to continue and just go straight through down into the residential area, something like that. So there's some options there. So that's how we ended it there. And then over here in Shepland, I really like the curves of how things came in here, and the game is freezing on me. There we go. And so basically this is Joshland here, of course, and it slides around coming down through here, and it comes straight in, and then it comes over top of this this railroad here, and then it basically just curves in to a couple of 3-lane roads here. So there's this one here, which comes along the edge of town, which turns into the 3-lane highway coming down through here. All right, so that's basically the transition. So if you want to get out of town on that freeway, you can make your way down any of these roads, get onto this 3-lane one-way, and then it just turns right into it. And then on the other hand, if you're coming into town, you basically come down through here, and you can come straight in, and it actually comes right over top of these roads and slides right into what is again a 3-lane road, city road coming down in through here like that to there. So you can come all the way down to here and then decide where you want to go within the town, or you can get off at any of these points to come into the major part of the city as well. Now, one other thing I was considering, and I'm not going to make my mind up here right now as to whether I'm going to do it, because I got a couple other things I wanted to take a look at today. But I could consider the possibility of doing either one just an off ramp here that slides down into here, just to give a little like a different access point from the freeway, something like that, or potentially even like almost like a T, and have 2 roads coming this way, just so that there's access to both sides of the town. But I'm not sure how that'll kind of go over. I'm not sure I really like that or not. I might have the one just a very simple, if you want to get into town but you want to go this way, you just come like that. I'm not sure. And then I could do something from here and just have it come up over and get into there. So that there's a possibility I do just 2 very simple roads connecting in here. But I don't know. We'll see how it goes. I want to make sure that this map has a ton of options on directions they can go, places that can people can move, and try to take away any chance of having a ridiculous traffic problem. So that's kind of my main goal, because when you get into the later game, when you get into that, by the way, I'm just going to press play. When you get into the the 80s, the 90s, and past that into the 2000s, the traffic gets insane, and being able to combat that is one of my main goals for this game. So we'll see what we can do there. Maybe we'll do something like that. There's going to be all kinds of roads. Towards the end of this episode, what I'd like to do, if I have time, is kind of introduce you to a few of the other highways I want to introduce, as far as what's going to connect all of this stuff down below this line here, this central line, if you will, and some of the other future options I have over here and stuff like that. But what I want to look at today is a couple things. First thing I wanted to do is show you almost a little lesson tutorial kind of thing, which eventually I may actually just go ahead and turn into a tutorial, because I am considering some tutorials for this game to try and improve our visibility on YouTube. So I've gone over this before, but what I'd want to do, I'm gonna kill that tree, is I wanted to show you something a little bit about what happens when you're making these highways and turning into bridges. And what happens is, many times when you you're coming along on a flat land, and then you go like, okay, I need to go up, and then you start going up, is it creates a little notch, and you can see that amongst these big long sections, it's created these 2 little guys here, which is where the notch happens. And in order to get rid of that really kind of ugly notch, which doesn't look like anything you'd ever see in real life, what you do is you go ahead and you delete them, and you delete both sides. Okay, just like that, and like that. And then, very easily, you just come in here, you grab the road that equates to it, which is this one, and you just connect it again. And now what you've done is, instead of having that notch, you've got a nice smooth transition from the flat area that you were in to the bridge. Simple as that. So it doesn't, I mean, it's kind of straightforward and simple. It doesn't seem like much, but it's one of those little things that I want to be able to show you guys, and because some people don't think about it, right? And some people don't worry about the aesthetics that much and don't care if things look janky. That's perfectly fine. Not everybody has to be completely anal about stuff like I am. But it's something I want to keep in mind. There's a number of lessons I've learned putting these highways in that I want to try and pass on to you guys, so that you can keep your eyes out potentially for some of that. And just again, same kind of thing over here. You can see that really kind of janky, since we're going to use that word apparently today. Again, you see those little notches. Take them out. Take out the section on this side, and take out the section on this side. And now you have the flat part and the crooked part, or the slanted part, all lined up, ready for you to go. And you just go like this, into there, and there, into there, Oops. And you have nice, smooth transitions. Just like that. I'll just quickly do this one as well. I don't want to spend the whole episode just doing this. That. And again, just like that. And just like that. And it looks nice. Okay, so and again, I could do it again. Like this here looks like it could use a fix as well, and I'll go through and do those because I actually just kind of finished some of this area already. So just recently, in the last hour or two, as I've been setting this episode up. So what I want to do is in this area, I want to have. It's basically going to create kind of a circular situation here because I actually want to create connections from Brompton that can access down to Kinshotaki, and also slide down here towards Joshland and create even potentially a situation where it'll actually connect down into this into Shepland like that. Okay, and in order to do that, what I want to do is start building a highway and just kind of laying some stuff out and seeing what happens. It is very temperamental. I'm getting better and better at laying these highways, and certainly the number one thing that you guys should know about when it comes to laying highways is there is a mod that you need to get into your life. Hey, new trucks! The man is here! Oh, baby, the man is here. Do you know how... You guys don't even know how much I love the man. That might be... You know what? That'll be the next episode. Done. The next episode is going to be all about the man. All right, so... Up here in Brompton, what I would like to do is create... there'll be an intersection here that will come down through this side of town. And then it'll turn up through here. And then slide down here, kind of moving with the angle, if you will, the slope of this rail. And then sliding down into here, like that. Basically like that. And then also, it will continue down this way, and it will turn into probably like a four-leaf clover type thing where it'll come through here, and then also I want it to continue through here where it will turn into some stuff for these two cities over here. Now, I'm not going to get all that done in the next 20 minutes or so, but I would like to get some of it done and start to give you guys some of the hints on how to make it happen. So let's jump in and see what we can do here. We're going to have to turn on some of the things so we can see what we're doing. Something like that. Now, it's going to be kind of interesting. I want to have that freeway come straight through here, and I want it to be flat on the ground, so some of this stuff's going to have to kind of go. And... so that you have to, I don't want to have the game paused a bunch, but that's going to have to be something that happens there. But for now, we'll just kind of visualize that there's going to be a freeway that comes down through here and then turns into here. And then and if we have time, we'll just have it come back and just start getting that going. And then the other freeway, I'm going to have another one kind of here as well. So there'll be kind of a entrance over here to go wherever you want. And then there'll be another one here. And then it'll connect conveniently as best we can into the airport as well. So... what I would like to do, though, is create some sort of an idea of where we're going here. So the basic idea that I can kind of portray to you guys about how it is that you can make these highways is you kind of just do it in... you kind of connect straight sections, if that makes sense. So as we come through here, you'll come through, and I'll show you the mod. It's in here, and you just find it under this street constructions. And you've got you got these are vanilla. 1, 2, 3 are vanilla. But this one here is the mod. And what it does is it gives you perfectly parallel, and I cannot tell you how important that is, perfectly parallel roads. And it just makes life so much easier. So what we can do is you can like line it up with another row, something like that. And that gives us, and somewhere in here we'll be able to say, okay, that's a straight section. And then we can have that section run here. And then if we wanted it to turn here, we'd set up another straight section here, and then we connect those two. That way when you're making a bend, you don't have to guess on having the good, you just have it be 2 equal points on one end, two equal points on the other end, and then you just connect the dots. So let's start on this end over here. And I want to put this kind of just almost like it's going to be right here, just on the edge. Because I don't want this town to actually grow all the way to the highway. I want it to kind of, I'll actually put some roads in and stop the growth of this town from getting any further than here. And then the highway will come through here. And then, yeah, that'll be it. Simple as that. And then the road, as the city needs to grow, it'll just grow out here towards the airport, and it can grow up north in here industrially, and even down into here a little bit more. But yeah, there's lots of room for the city to continue to grow. So let's go ahead and line that up, and I'm just going to go somewhere. We're going to say it lives somewhere right around there. All right. Now, the next step is you want to go ahead and grab a freeway of the same size. Now, you can make them 3-lane if you wanted. I'm keeping these 2-lane right now. Probably everything's going to be upgraded to 3-lane, but I'm kind of keeping things in a bit of a variety at the moment. So what you do is you don't worry about going in the right direction, because you can't start at a different section. And I always try to make sure that I end up with them kind of equal, right? Now, obviously, I wouldn't be able to draw this one here and then come across and pick a spot and come back to this one, because you lose your parallel, right? You always have to continue from where you know you're perfectly parallel. If you can't be like, oh, okay, I'll go here and then I'll just jump across here and move another one back. They'll be parallel. No, it'll be parallel here. It won't be parallel there. So that's not what you want to do at all. And then once you get to a point where you're like, okay, I'm probably going to want to start to bend into here, then you're like, okay, well, I'll definitely just stop there. And what I'll do is I'm going to come in like this, and then it's going to turn and bend like that. And it's actually going to have to go up and over that rail. And that's going to create a bit of a challenge because we already have something there. So I'm not 100% sure how I do that. I'm not really sure if I like the idea of having to go up, then down, under, and then back up again with a freeway. So what I may do is do that with these instead. That's going to be tricky, because I definitely don't want to have it go over both, right? So what I probably will do is I have this nice long smooth section here. What I'll probably end up doing is recreating this entire thing and having it actually go down so that I can have the highway come up over there, and then there's 2 bumps there. I don't mind those being more bumpy, because it's much more important to have the smooth freeway. So what I'll do is you'll pick a spot. So we come from here, and then we're going to want to start to bend in here, right? So from here to here, you need a straight spot somewhere in here that you can kind of connect to. So it's there and then into there. So what I'll do is we come back in and we grab our parallels again. And we're going to want to have them be parallel, or, there's no way to guarantee exact parallelness on this, but have it as close as you can to being parallel to, say, these tracks, just for aesthetics. And now you've got your thing. And then now it's just a matter of finding kind of a midway point where you can come into here like this and then come out of there. Now, one thing I will say is you don't want to necessarily have the freeway running too close to something that you want to cross over. Because what happens is if you're really close and it's time to cross over, you're coming on a very sharp angle. And it's very hard to get the road to go over without having pillar interference. So if you start a little further out, you can start your turn, and you'll get much closer to a much more shallow angle, and you'll be able to get across it without having pillar interference. So you don't want to come all the way down to here and then cross. You want to try and find that midway point in an example like this. So this comes down here. You can find your midway point, and we'll call it something like there. At some point, you just got to make a decision and plop it down. And then, again, we'll just come in here. We'll grab our freeway, and we're going to want this one here. Sorry, I always call it freeway, by the way. I think that's maybe a Canadian thing or whatever. We call the big open highways, we call them freeways. So what we want to do is once you found that spot, you think, okay, before you do too much work, how does this line up? So you grab one end and you just go like this and you say, how does that look? Does that look pretty good? It looks pretty good. Maybe it does, maybe it doesn't. If you decide you want it to like have it further down this way and then start the bend from there, you can. If you decide, oh, you know what, I actually want this section to be a little bit flatter. So what we'll do is we'll you can stretch this out straight and then start the bend further along. But as it stands right now, this thing seems pretty smooth. What you could do is have this extend down further straight here, extend out straight here, and have a sharper turn further on. But I like this smooth turn. And then here, we'll be able to come out straight a bit and then start a smooth turn again. So this straight section will be very small. And in fact, what you could actually do is have this straight section literally just be the parallel point. So all this is doing by putting this in here is saying, hey, we got your back, you're parallel, you're good to go. Just like that. Now you know for 100% sure that these are nice and smooth and parallel to one another. All right. And then you just have to make your decision. All right. You're going to come down in here and you're going to decide where you're going to go in here. So what I'm going to do actually is I am actually going to pause the game and I'm going to start bulldozing. Because I'll figure out that other road later, but I want to focus on the highway now. And focusing on the highway means finding a line through here that we like and not the right height. And the right height is basically where that was, so we don't want that. So what's going to happen is we want this to probably come through here, because it's going to come down through here and then turn into there. We don't want to get too far over here. There's not much point, right? So you come in here. So we'll basically come straight down through here and then turn in there. So this will probably come straight for a bit and then turn. So what we want to do is I'm going to go ahead and grab our parallel thingamajig right there. And we'll find our angle. And you kind of, a lot of this time, you're just going to be eyeballing it, right? Like, you can kind of see the line that it's going to create. You like the line, then you go with it. And I think I pretty much like, say, the line we're on right now. That would come into here, and then it'll just turn up into there. Okay. Now, in this case, what you actually need to do, this is one way to do it. This is the way I found to do it, is you're actually going to want to raise up the roads to a point where it's going to make a bridge. And what we can actually do to make sure that we know that we're kind of getting close to the point where it's going to be a bridge-like, so we can kind of line it up to this. And I think that's probably high enough right now that it'll become a bridge. Let's hope. And then, you just go back to where your spot was, and we'll just throw it down. And I think that spot's going to be right about there. Now, you get rid of that. And you come back and you grab your regular old highway, freeway, and you come out of here, and then of course you have to line that up to make it, you want it to be flat, right? And you take a look, and of course we want that. You think, is that a good height? Is that the one you want? I think we're going to live with it. It's probably a little bit higher than you need to be a bridge, but it's not so bad. It's you probably couldn't go too much lower, and I like the height. We're going to go with it. So now that we've grabbed that, again, you make sure you're going straight out of here, like that. And then you do the same thing out this way, like that. Again, trying to make sure that you're coming to pretty much the exact same length here, like that. And now you can get rid of these ugly things, because we know that we're parallel here, because we came perfectly straight out. And now you've got couple of perfectly straight pieces to work with, just like that. And then what you do is you start to decide what your angle is going to be, right? So do you want to move these a little bit straighter and then turn? This is definitely going to come this way. I feel like we could probably make the turns from here. So I'm going to actually go like this. Yep. Okay. Get rid of that. And we're going to go like this. And again, it's just going to be, we'll just go straight along here. Find a point where you like to start your turn. I kind of like it to make it so like the distance between here and the apex and the apex in here would be equal, right? So this looks like it's definitely longer than this. So you just back it up until you get to here. Anyone familiar with City Skylines will know that there's actually a mod you can get that actually helps you line this up perfectly with units of distance. But we don't have that in this game, so we're just eyeballing it. So I think there's a pretty good number. And we'll do the same thing here. And again, you want, especially when you're about to do a turn, you really want to make sure you're lined up pretty much exact. Because when you're about to make a turn, you want it to start from perfectly equal points. As opposed to, you know, if you're just doing a straight line, if they're not, and then you're doing another straight line after that. I mean, if it's within a little bit, you don't have to be too picky. Unless you really want to. So, next thing we do is you can start to connect. Now, this is just experimenting, right? You're just saying, okay, well, what's it going to look like if we do it like this? And as we come across, you can see here, it looks like they haven't quite liked our height. Now, I'm not sure. What we're doing there. So we can do it like that, okay? And what that might do is, because I had to basically just hold Shift and M, and just tap it up until it was okay, it could have potentially, depending on the heights of the land and that, it could have created a little bit of a hump. Now, I don't visually see a hump right now. It might have been just the height of the land that was forcing me to do that. Because you can see actually the height in here is actually a little bit higher than down in here. So it just made me come up here and put a little bit of a hump here, like make it just go up a little bit higher here. But it's still coming into a smooth point here. It's not creating a hump that you can see. So I think we're okay. So I'm going to go ahead and accept that. And again, you can take a good look. It looks like we're pretty smooth. I don't think you can see anything. If you can't see anything when you're looking really, really carefully, then no one's going to be able to see anything when, you know, you're just casually passing by. So again, here we're going to have to do the same kind of thing. And it's just going to be a matter of holding Shift and tapping M until that collision goes away. Should be pretty close. There. And again, you can see the bridge, because of the way the pillars line up, the collision doesn't go away until, because you're at a closer or tighter angle, you have to make a little bit longer of a bridge. But again, it looks like we're okay like that. So we will come out here and accept that, and we have a nice smooth line like that. Just like that. Then we continue to stretch this out. So we'll come along here. And again, sometimes you'll get this where you just have to choose the thing. So you want it to be flat, and then it'll continue to go across. Go like that. And you can certainly afford to do longer stretches, whenever you want. And then you just want to make sure you come along here and come to a fairly similar point. Like that. Actually, I was thinking I had something else to go over, but I don't. I can actually have this come down. That's my fault, guys. Sorry. I was thinking I had to go over one more thing. I'm like, I gotta stretch this out. We can actually come back down to the ground here. So unfortunately, that means I'm gonna have to take a minute and delete a bunch of stuff here. And like that. And then here's where you have to try and figure out how you're going to get to an exact point where you come down. I think, yeah, right here. Looks like this is where we're at exact point. So that was my mistake. Sorry. And we'll just go like this, and this is where we actually don't need to come down. And what you can do is stretch it out straight. Where are we? There's your straight point there. And it's always nice to have it kind of stretch out in order to keep it being a relatively low degree of slope. The longer you stretch it out, obviously, the more. So you just come to a point where you like it. And go like that. And then we grab the same thing here. Come down here. And again, because you want them to look very similar, you want to line up those there. Just like that. And again, because this rail's on a bit of an angle, it creates a point where the bridge goes a little bit further. It's just the way that the game's mechanics kind of work, because there's not a whole lot you can do about it. So let's go ahead. I'm just going to very quickly try to run some of this stuff out here like this. I'm actually going to probably go to a point somewhere here and go like this. And the way I did that there, because we came down an angle, you could actually see probably where we made a bit of a dent and then came back up. You could absolutely, at some point, I could delete, you know, this section and then redo that, and it will make it much smoother. I'm not going to waste any more of our time here like that, because what I would like to do is create a point, an angle here to come to, kind of like there. Now, to give you guys an idea, I do have one-way roads in here, and I kind of like the idea of like this one-way road and this one-way road becoming part of what I could create in here. So I kind of like the idea of lining up to make sure that I'm going to come down and turn and line up to a point where that would actually work. So I kind of want to be on a line right here. So the line right here means somewhere in this section I want to create our parallel roads heading towards that. So you can kind of line it up and say, okay, there's our two roads, and we kind of want to be in a same sort of direction, so that will create our intersection here. We want to head towards that, so this is a pretty good angle here. Maybe just turn it ever so slightly a bit more. And then what you can do is you can actually line up where these are. You could put it here, but if you put it down here more, you might be able to just go ahead and line it up with the point where you can actually start to do your bend from one to the next. So I think I'll go like that. I'm just going to slide that down like that, kill that there, come back in here, and then create, I think we like that. Or do we? I don't know if I do, actually. I'm actually going to bring it back. So before I delete those, I'll do this. I actually want them a little bit closer back. And this, again, it's going to be still parallel like there, but I'm just going to actually bring it to like maybe more like here. Like that, and then maybe slightly over. And now that we've used those as reference, we can delete them. And we can come back in here and like that and like that. Then we move along here like this, and we've come to a point where we would be creating our intersection. So what you want to do is you have to decide, okay, which is going to go over, which is going to go under, and stuff like that. Now, because this is going over here, I don't want to go bridge, then bridge again if I can get away with it. So I think I probably prefer these to be the ones that go over. And you do want to have, like I said, we're going to basically have these kind of turn into those. All right. There. And then this one will kind of turn into that. So we'll have to do something like that. So maybe we'll just go like this and find it so that we've kind of got an equidistance distance between here and here. In fact, before I do that, actually, I have an idea. I am going to come in here and I'm actually going to grab the one-way, two-lane, and I'm actually going to see about just making this go straight out. Problem is here is this is the easiest way to do this is actually go like this and then have it come straight through like this. And then when you can actually find that clicking kind of point where it'll actually perfectly click through. And then I'll just have it come like this. And I've actually, that's interesting. Because I've actually, I thought it was, I think I need to be further over actually. Like, I'm not going to have this continue too far. What I actually could do is have this, I could have this come just barely through. Like this, and then turn up. And I actually do need these to converge anyway, right? So let me just see how this works here. Let me go bulldoze there. Let's grab our one-way road here. Like that. And then we're just going to need to turn those around like that. So we are going to have to make some sort of way to make these converge anyway. So I could just do a smooth road that slides up, and then this one will slide in. That probably actually will probably be the best way to do it. So for now, let's take a look here. What I'm going to do is this section here, I'm going to try to create a bridge to that. So let me just see how this is going to end up looking. I might have screwed this up just a touch on our angle. Let me go like this, and actually just a sec. I want to go maybe a little bit further along like that. And like that. Then as we connect these here, how does that look? Not too bad, actually. It doesn't look like it comes back, so that's actually pretty good. And then we'll just go like this and like that. And we can slide it down until it collides. There's your point. So then you think, okay, oh, actually, no, we don't like that at all. Yeah, we need to bring this over. That's disappointing. All right, so before I delete this, what I actually need to do is I need to go. So this is kind of a lesson learner here. So we need to grab this, and we definitely need to be further over. I would say like a good full section over. We need this to come down more like here, and then it'll basically come down and turn in. So this will kind of turn into here and then turn into there. So what we need to do is we're going to want the same angle. So make sure we're on that same angle. Looks like we're good to go. But we're going to just want this to be like over a significant amount more. Something like this, I think, is probably better. So we'll go ahead and place that down like that. And then we can delete our way back. Thankfully, there's no bridge, so it deletes fast. And you delete it all the way back to where we were parallel right here, right? And what I'm actually going to do, because we have a bit of a hill there, and I don't want to have an ugly turn there, I'm just going to go ahead and spend a little bit of money and make sure we're nice and flat through here. And I can smooth it out later. Looks like we're pretty flat there, parallel I should say. Like that. And like I said, I'll smooth that out later around the one edge. So what we want to do is we want to get again to a point where we're good. So we want to go to our road again like this. And come straight out. It's getting pretty close right there. Come to there. Yeah, that's pretty good. So that we'll do this, like this. Creating again just another straight section to work with. And then we'll just come like this, connect that, and like this. Connect that, and problem solved. I'm not going to worry about spending 15 or 20 seconds smoothing that out. We'll get to that at another time. But now what we've done is we've created a situation where we're actually going to be able to create the smooth lines that we want to. So I'm actually going to go, we'll see how this looks from here. Like that. We'll go like this, go like that. And I'll tell you right now, I don't like it, and I'll tell you the reason why. Because the distances aren't equal. And so we've got a bridge that's much longer on this side of this than there. So what you want to do is we're going to want to make this road go further out. So we got to go like this. And we want it to probably right about there. And then that's going to be the point from here to here. and there to there is kind of more equal. That will give us, I think, a more even bridge like that. So again, we go like this. Like that, just barely high enough. And that creates, as you can see, a much more even bridge where you've got kind of equal pillar length here and there. And you can lock that in. And then here, we'll want to do the same kind of thing. But on this one here, it's kind of different because this is going to be kind of a much more different angle, right? Because this is much bigger gap here than we are here. So these are going to lose their parallelness. So what we want to do is I'm actually going to go ahead and test the appearance, to be honest with you. I like that. But we're creating it. We're going to have to move this much further forward, which might then create our problem. So this is where you create that problem where you've got an uneven bridge. But the further I take this road straight out, if I take this road straight out, it's going to create a weird bend. So what I'm going to have to do is actually start the turn with this road and then make the bridge. So what I could actually do, potentially, I can't do it without laying the bridge down. I don't want to do that. We're just going to kind of mark this visually. So we're going to want to start the turn and come to here. So if let's take a look at that rock and think, okay, we're going to make this road turn to here and just be just above that rock. So I'm going to go like this, and I'm going to go like this and grab that. And I'm going to come here, and we want to just kind of start a turn that kind of goes like this. All right. And again, there's that rock, and it's kind of that similar type distance. Again, it's you're eyeballing it. It's not going to be perfect. Sometimes you're going to have to redo it. I think it's pretty good. Maybe just a touch more that way. There we go. I'm going to go ahead and say I like that. And then we come back to our freeway, and we see what it looks like. And it looks like we created a pretty good time right there. So we'll pop that up. Like that. And we've created a much shorter bridge. So we definitely don't like the look of this, right? So the angle wasn't too bad, but we definitely went too far. So what we want to do is we're going to have to bulldoze this back here. And I think I need to bulldoze it back this way as well, to be honest with you. Maybe not quite that much, but close. I'm going to come to like there. And then I'm going to go like this. I'm not going to go quite as far on this corner. And that's probably still a little bit too dramatic of a turn. I'm going to come to like here. And then we're going to try it again. So we've created a much better number here, but we're definitely too far here. Like that. I mean, they're never going to look the exact same, right? And so you start to ask yourself, what can you live with as far as angles? And I feel like I could probably live with that. It was always going to look different. And what I might be able to do is actually make some corrections. For instance, here now, I could delete this back to here and just do a regular road like this that connects to that. And again, that already makes a nicer line, right? And then I could probably delete some stuff here. and create a nicer line here. So again, that would be here like that, and go like that. And now, yeah, so that's, yeah, it's not perfect. We can fix that, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. So we've kind of got interesting lines. And then, of course, now we have to start to figure out how do we make this join up, right? So we would want to come into our highways. Actually, what we need to do first, sorry, is we just want to do this like that and just kind of correct a couple of these sections so that we're going in the right direction. Like that. I'm not going to worry about correcting it all back there, just where we need it. Yeah, I think I can live with that. There might be a couple corrections I need to make, but I'm actually pretty good with it. So what you do is you're going to want the highway ramps now. So we're going to go in here and we want the ramp. And so you start to think, okay, what do we need? We need to go from here into there. We need to go from there. We need this. Could kind of actually... do we want to have something come off here and go into there? Now here's your problem, right? Is you do not want to start a ramp on a slope, unfortunately, because the way this game is designed, what will happen is when you do that, you'll create a plateau in the middle of it. So it'll go up, plateau, and then go up again. Now in some cases, like this doesn't actually look all that bad. So we might be able to get away with that one. So you could have it just come along like this. And you're basically just turning this road like this. And then you're just connecting in here like that. And again, like I said, you kind of get away with it there. It's not so bad. And then you'd have another one here. And then you would have roads here. So you could come back to here. Somewhere like this, and you can just create. What I like to do is always try to make it as tight and as parallel as you can in here, and then now that you've got that straight line, you can kind of make a nice little tight turn as close as you can along here. You don't want to be too far away or it snaps to the wrong thing. So again, you kind of slide off, you come along here, create a line to where you want it to be, and connect into your road just like that. That looks pretty good. And then long term, what you might want to do is, because you've kind of got these angles, like if you really want to be nitpicky, you can say, okay, I want to make this one kind of parallel this one. And right now it's not perfect, so you can kind of nitpick it away, but I'm not going to worry about that right now. For right now, we just need to create a couple of tighter angles. And so if we were to start in a similar spot here like this, and then you basically just turn a much sharper angle like that, and then you come along here and you find a place that you like, and then you'll have a sharp angle up here as well. And that's the beginning. Now, this obviously, it's crazy how long it takes to make these highways and stuff, unfortunately. So I didn't get anywhere near as much done as well, this is probably exactly how much I figured I would get done, but I was, of course, praying that it would be better. So we didn't get away with much here, but this kind of starts to give you an idea of what you can start to make these looking like here. And that's, you could certainly spend some time and make these look a little bit more symmetrical and kind of contrast one another. But that's it. You can now from this city, you can come out of this road in here and you can get on a highway and head down there. Or you can just continue over. If you are coming, this isn't completely done, of course, because you're going to want to be able to do other turns. So this guy coming down here is going to want one more place to go. He can head up that way if he wants, say to where the airport will be. He can head into town, but he's also going to want to come underneath. So what you could do is there's a couple of options. You're going to want to get from here to there. So you can get over and then have him turn around in here somewhere. There's other options you can do. or you can have him go up over the whole thing. There's lots of different ways you can do that. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to spend some time between the videos and actually make that look exactly the way, you know, you maybe want it to end up looking. And then when we come back for the next episode, we will, you know, you'll kind of see where it all ended up, and how it ended, the final product ended. So, but that's that. We kind of got, you know, we got some track laid. Just showed you guys some of the secrets of the trade. That'll continue through here, and then you basically do a T function. And I'll tell you right now, for a lot of people, and I'm going to end up using it a bunch as well, is these pre-made ones are actually not that bad looking at all. I don't mind them. The one thing that does suck for me with these is that they're built on what is the tight formation. So like the rows are tight together. So, and I actually went with the normal when I was putting these down. So you can see here the roads aren't going to line up. These are going to be tighter, right? So that's going to be something I'm going to have to combat with, essentially. All right. So I'll have to figure that out a little bit. Because that's another thing to keep in mind as well, actually, is when you're doing this, excuse me, you have a couple options. You can have 2-lane or 3-lane, which is fine. And then you can have tight, which is, if I was using the tight, it would have worked much better with these, because that's how they do them. All right. So that would be what you'd want to use tight if you want it to line up. If all you're going to do is use these intersections, then you're definitely going to want that. You're going to want to go tight, and then you can go loose, and then you can just have them crazy wide as well. So I like the normal because it looks more realistic, but unfortunately the game made them like this. So anyway, that is where we're going in the future, is setting up all these highways and creating all these networks, and it's going to look fantastic once we're all done. It feels good to have even more lines, like I said, kind of lined up here, because now again we have this line coming through here, we have the lines coming down through here, and it just looks fabulous. I love more and more every time I look. Every time I look like this, it just looks so good. Now, of course, I've still got those error messages thingies, but the lines really start to come together as we connect with highways and stuff all over the place. We're going to have more down in here. I'm pretty sure I'm going to have a crazy intersection right in here that's going to kind of connect through a lot of stuff and create a lot of different options for different directions right in here. It should be quite the challenge, but we'll get there. Okay, this has been fun. It's been great being back on Transport Fever 2 after a little over a week of absentee, and I appreciate you guys who are supporting the series by continuing to watch every episode as it's released. You're a rare breed, and you're a very fine gentleman for doing it. And potentially fine ladies. There's a possibility there's a lady out there who's keeping up with the series. It's entirely possible. Okay, I'm going to call it there. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate it. Sorry for going over on time again, but it's exciting to be back with you. And we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.